First of all, I should tell you, I don't know if you guys know this, but Russian roulette is the name of a different game. Don't Google it. But it is already taken. I grew up in Reno, Nevada. Thank you. Yeah, both perfect reactions. It is a little pothole south of here, and it is it's a gambling town, and I didn't know that was weird. Like that's just where when I grew up, there was like slot machines in the Winco. That was just normal life. And so I decided early on that it would be a fun job to be a professional poker hustler. So I saw the movie Rounders, and I really liked the first 10 minutes and the last act, not the middle part where he like lost everything and everybody he'd ever loved because of poker. But so I wanted to be a poker hustler, and I'd been like waiting for my opportunity. And I was going to this community college, taking some advanced classes when I was in high school, and I overheard a guy talking about having a home poker game. And I introduced myself. And this is one thing. This is what I miss about being a teenager, I guess, is like sociopathic levels of confidence. I just like slid over and I was like, I also like to gamble. It was crazy. Like it was. I would never talk. I don't like talking to baristas now. Like I would way rather order online and pick up from the sticker. But I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just talk to this guy. And he was like, he laughed, which I should have taken as a warning. But he gave me the address. He's like, we play Friday nights, and he gave me his address. And I got in my dad's Saturn, and I drove to this guy's house in the suburbs, and it was a huge suburb mansion, right? Everything there is the same color of stucco, beige. Like but they're huge house, and there were like 15 motorcycles in the driveway, and they were all Suzuki Hayabusas, which I did not know anything about at the time, but I've Googled it, the fastest production motorcycle at the time. And I also didn't know they had taken out the speed limiter and added nitrous tanks. So they went at top speed of 350 miles an hour. So they were like, I did not know any of this. This is later. But immediately it's like, these people do not plan on living for a while. These are short-term thinkers, every one of them. But I was like, cool, hog. And then I like went inside. And this house is huge but empty. So there's no furniture. There, except for a very nice leather couch, a huge TV, a pile of DVDs next to it. There are 4 different colors of Patron in the kitchen table, but no other visible food or eating implements. And then a very nice poker table in the back room. Also, it had like a pool with a waterfall into the pool. So, if you guys had to guess, what do these people do for a living? Drug dealer, absolutely. 100% drug dealer every time. Is the right thing to assume. Turns out, very close, they were retired drug dealers. So there was a motorcycle gang, and what they had lived in Northern California, and they sold heroin, and then one of the guy who ran the motorcycle gang, the smart one, his dad was a VP at AT&T, and was like, if you stop selling heroin, I will pay you double what you're making now to go to college anywhere else. So he went to Reno, took 3 classes at a community college, and tried to spend $250,000 a year doing nothing. And mostly it was on motorcycles and guns, it turns out. There were also a lot of guns, which I didn't see when I walked in. They were in the garage. Anyway. And like right now, as an adult, leave. I should leave. You should 100%. Run. The right move would be to say something like, hey guys, I have no short-term memory, so I'll never tell anybody about this, and then run. And instead, when I figured this out as a 16-year-old, I had this confidence. I was like, oh, well, it's my moral duty to take their money because they're drug dealers. And then when I found out the guy worked for AT&T, I was like, well, now it's definitely dirty money. I need this. And so what I did was I went to the library and found a book. I played that night. It went okay. Then I went to the library, found a book called How to Hustle Home Poker. It's a real book written in the 80s by a guy named John Fox. And I didn't want to give it back, so I photocopied every single page. I pirated a hardcover book. And And I read it, and I still have it at home in a binder, and I've like underlined, I had underlined all these weird passages, like it's important to be on good terms with every. I mean, it was like just really sociopath stuff to underline. One thing was like, if everyone is cold, that's good for you, or something. So like, you always request the AC to be on too high. And it worked great. It turned out I won every time because they're not long-term thinkers. They're not planners. They're not super smart people. And to them, they should have probably killed me. But thinking back, it was like, imagine you're like a hardened drug dealer, and then all of a sudden, this 16-year-old nerd with an unreasonable amount of confidence, who is way better than you at poker, just wants to hang out and is like, cool guns, and then doesn't care. It's a fun time. It was a really fun thing. And I hung out with them for the summer, and I won enough money to buy that Saturn off my dad. So like upwards of $400 or $500. And they all, like, the thing that I miss the most besides the money is that level of confidence. So like right now, I just wish I was still able to talk to strangers. All right, I'm Alex. Thank you guys so much.